had a lot of substance abuse issues over the years, and he was relatively young. He's 57. But he played on that Pulp Fiction song that they did. But that was when they really blew up, was from that Neil Diamond cover. But Sister Havana was like a big hit for them too. And so if you were a fan of Urge Overkill, and I think they still do things. I think Nash Cato and the other guys are still. But they had to announce that Blackie Onassis, their drummer, had passed away. But yeah, Urge Overkill, Nirvana took them out on that Nevermind tour in '91. And Urge Overkill was kind of trying to do like a late 60s rock and roll swing kind of thing. And, and Smashing Pumpkins just went on to kind of rule the globe for a good 10 years. But I still dig them. But people made fun of me at the time because they thought they knew better than I did. And it turned out that they did. They're like, no, Pumpkins are the ones, So when Chicago became the new Seattle, after they had stripped every possible fruit from the grunge tree in Seattle, all the record reps came to Chicago, and they signed every band that popped up. Bands that had barely done any gigs were getting major label record contracts. But Smashing Pumpkins were legit. I just didn't dig them at the time up against Urge Overkill. But I was in the court of popular opinion, as has happened so many other times, Bill. I was proven wrong. Sometimes I'm just, I don't hear what other people hear. But then, of course, I came to love the Pumpkins, but I certainly did not think that they were going to go the way that they did. But that Billy Corgan, that lad is unstoppable. And he's so tall. They both had tall frontmen. Nash Cato was very tall, and that was back when Billy Corgan still had hair. So they both had long hair, tall and long hair. But then when Billy Corgan transitioned into his Uncle Fester phase, it was a much different situation. But it is strange.
There's a guy that likes to feel good more than he likes to look good.
Yeah. Alan Motley Crue didn't have a song called Dr. Look Good. That's Don from Kent.
Thank you, Don.
I mean, I can't argue with that. I mean, who better to take life advice from than, let me check my notes, Motley Crue.
Yeah, good stuff. We love a crew of Motleys.
A Motley Crue. Alan, there are completely nude strip clubs in Washington, out here in Washington State, but they don't serve alcohol. Well, that's true in a lot of places.
Yeah.
Like you can go to the pasty joints where they're wearing bikini bottoms, and you can have a couple of pops, or they're like, if we're going to give you live nude girls, you can't drink because, and maybe you guys didn't know this, but it really makes people kind of wonky.
Yeah, I mean, there's sex clubs around here, but they're not, like, promoted. I'm saying sex is mainstream in all the other countries. Like, it's a part of their culture. If you have a club, chances are there's a basement, and there's just people having sex down there.
Chances are there are people, a club with a basement, you're saying chances are there's some greased up mattresses and people are having sex.
Yes.
Hmm.
From what I've heard.
Why don't you go check it out for yourself? Or you think they're going to think you're a narc?
Because I ain't got no money.
Oh, they're clubs.
I'm talking about in Europe.
Oh, I thought you meant here.
No, I'm saying sex is mainstream over in Europe. Here, it's not like you can go to a sex club.
Mm-hmm.
You can, but it's not. It's like, oh, you're one of those people. Like you're looked at as a swinger, or you're looked at it. There's a stigma that comes attached to that. But like clubs over there in Europe, it's just a part of their culture. That's all.
Well, yeah. I mean, you've got the red light district in Amsterdam as a famous example, but even that they're trying to move out into the suburbs now. So,
like we have bathhouses here.
Yeah.
And I don't know what I'm not heterosexual, so I don't know what the straight equivalent of that is. Is there just
a bowling alley? Okay. Probably the straight equivalent of, because it's just people trying to meet up. And it's very, the pins are very phallic, giant balls rolling everywhere. That's what I think.
Okay.
So, but you're right. There are sex clubs all around the world. But the ones in the States are the ones where you have to pay a crazy amount of money
Like a
to get
membership,
in there.
yeah.
That's right, like Sanctum and things like
You got to
that.
give up your phone. Like they're very hush hush about it. They're just like, so why? You show your breasts. Show your breasts. Like, you know, it's no big deal. Walking around all unshaved. Like,
Unshaved.
everyone's very comfortable.
Yeah, I think Berlin is probably a big city as far as sex clubs go in Europe. Berlin is probably where you want to
Very sex positive.
Kit Kat Club and things like that. Yeah.
I just feel like Germany is like on point. I would love
Well, the
to go to
history,
Germany.
they're so kind of agnostic about so many things that are, given the history of that country, I think that it's kind of baked into the culture that they want people to be feeling good because there are so many things in their history to feel bad about. Here in the United States, the Power Exchange in San Francisco is considered America's naughtiest adult space.
Of course, it's in San Francisco.
Been around for a quarter century. But it is alcohol free, just like all the other. That's the thing.
So
If you
stupid.
want to get ripped on booze, you're not going to go to one of these clubs.
And that's
because
how
they
you know
want-
you're really horny. When you going into a sex club
sober.
sober,
you
like
can't even have alcohol there. Yeah.
You're real horny. That's a level, like, because
But then again, go to-
inhibition's lower when you had something to drink. But if your inhibitions are that low when you are sober, good for you.
it was probably just
You've
like
done some work.
Yeah,
you're
but
ready
you
to
just pop
do
an
it.
edible. This just says alcohol free.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
an edible is not the same as alcohol.
I know, but I mean, if you're gonna, but
both can make you not perform.
well, I was gonna say for the
Yeah.
purposes of performance, I can't. Nobody's ever had a bad time on high, have they? I mean,
yeah,
with sex.
I don't know, like
For most people, sex is
Because
like crazy amplified when they're high.
if you can get to that
It
mindset,
depends.
because like there's definitely been times where I've been high where I'm just so overstimulated that I'm like I can't handle anything.
Really?
yeah, I couldn't.
I mean, there's definitely times where I've had that enhancement where it's like, okay, this is feeling real good right now. But there's definitely times where I get too in my thoughts and I'm like, I can't do sex right now.
Yep, that's literally me. If I'm, it depends on what state I'm in when I hit. Like if I'm already relaxed, the pot will
Yeah.
intensify that.
You get a good body high, let's do this. You have a too much of a head high, too thinky, no way.
I've only had
Every sound feels like, oh, that's not good.
I've only had edible sex one time, and it freaked me out because I didn't know. Like when I reached the top of the mountain, it just didn't stop, and I started to get scared. I was like, my body's not supposed to feel this way. Like I got out of bed and I like fell to the ground because my knees were like so
Just
like numb. Like I was like, I didn't know. I kept looking down to make sure I was done. I was like, am I done? Am I done? It still doesn't feel like I'm done. I was like, I don't want to feel this for like, what if I just have a constant thing? Because
you develop that situation where, that disorder where
You keep having
you're
orgasms.
always having orgasms and it's just a nightmare.
Somebody told me about a show. I think it was on Law and Order or ER or something like that, where a girl came in and she was having like that. She had that disease or something where she kept getting off, and her dad showed up like, "Babe, are you okay?" She's like, "No, get away," because she couldn't stop. It was so weird.
Well, I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah, it
You
was
never
like,
heard about the people, because there was one guy on
I mean, I've
Some-
never had that happen to me.
right, but on TLC there's a guy that he talked about where he couldn't stop having orgasms and it was wrecking his life.
and he said,
Oh
like,
yeah.
people think that would be great. I was like, it would not.
No.
Like, you're trying to be at work,
I want
or
to be
you're
in
like
control of it.
you're at a family function. But yeah, I gotta
Family. You would stop. You'd try to work from home, and you'd stop going to family functions.
Yeah, I think it was on like Grey's Anatomy where this girl showed up and she kept having orgasms and she didn't know what was wrong. And
It would ruin them for you.
It turns out she was just continually listening to comedy by Bill Squire.
Pure BS.
Oh.
Well, a lot of different things to consider there.
I wonder what level that would be, because it's not going to be the best one you've had every single time, where it keeps getting
No,
better.
ugh.
That'll cause probably heart problems.
Fart problems, Man, trying to take a dump and you can't stop.
You're like, I am so into this right now.
Everything,
so
your brain associates
Just trying to
everything with
wipe.
sex. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, run that water. Like he's like trying to take a shower or washing your hands.
Pulling through the drive-thru. Could I get 2?
Like,
I need a
it's just a honey
8-piece.
bun, babe. Yes, a honey bun. It's a good old
honey,
bun.
a good old honey bun. One of our bureau chiefs in South Carolina sent me a story about the guy who stole $40,000 worth of chicken from a poultry plant. And the most surprising thing is how little chicken $40,000 is. You think this guy would be awash in birds. He stole $40,000 worth of boneless chicken breast from a poultry plant down there from Pilgrim's Pride. And he had 2 he had a Toyota Corolla and he had a GMC Yukon. And he filled one of them with chicken. And he's still at large. So they're asking people, hey, if you know a guy that drives these cars and all of a sudden has a whole lot of chicken, this is a guy who's probably going to try to flip all that chicken, going to upsell you on the black market. So you people in South Carolina, if there's you feel like there's an uptick in street chicken, it's coming from this guy. So any assistance, if you want to rat him out, to the fuzz. But first, get your chicken. Get some cheap chicken. And they don't know where this guy is. He's on the run, as it were. But you figure you don't have much time. It's not like his, he took refrigerated meat and he put it in his car. Sounds like an inside job.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to keep that for too long. So I hope they find this guy. And I hope that it'd be great if they found him and they go, "How is this all you have left?" And it's like a couple of chicken breasts. And he's like, "I sold the rest of it."
Yeah.
That's why when I stole this chicken, I was driving a Corolla. But then when I flipped that bird, now I'm driving a brand new car. I don't know what $40,000 worth of boneless chicken will get you on the open market. Maybe he had one buyer in mind. This is probably one of those dumb things where it's not even any well thought out thing. It's not like it's Ocean's 11. Usually these kinds of situations, somebody who works there like left a door open, Oh, the night watchman was supposed to put a lock on this one cooler and he didn't. It's like the woman who died at the Taco Bell because she froze to death. The manager froze to death in the reefer because it was broken and they had kept complaining to corporate or something. This is in Albuquerque or somewhere like that where, and now her family is suing Taco Bell, I think, for like millions of dollars, as well they should, I guess, because there's a paper trail of them constantly emailing corporate saying, we got to get this this cooler fixed or something's going to happen. And the woman was there like closing on a weekend or something or doing a managerial, whatever she was doing, side work or whatever. And she got locked in the cooler and couldn't get out and froze to death in the cooler. They didn't find her till Monday. The morning crew comes in or whatever, and the manager's in the reefer, and she's frozen solid.
Man.
Because
That's
they
a peaceful
didn't
way to go, but I don't think it is. I don't think because you just fall asleep when you freeze to death, but there's a lot of panic until you get there.
Yeah.
And everything hurts. Like,
yeah.
It hurts so bad that you can't even like feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sorry. This was an Arby's manager. This is in Louisiana. I don't want to defame Taco Bell. This is an Arby's manager. They found her with bloody hands.
The meat.
Yeah. She beat her hands bloody trying to escape.
Oh.
A Vietnamese woman who had moved to Louisiana and became an Arby's manager, and her 4 adult children are suing for millions of dollars.
We have the millions. They're about to get it.
He did it, didn't he? Yeah. We were just talking about Urge, Overkill, and Pulp Fiction. Poundcake, what's the connection between Arby's and Pulp Fiction? Have you ever seen Pulp Fiction?
I've like once.
Have you ever eaten Arby's?
Yes.
Okay, then you have a head start. What's the connection between Arby's and Pulp Fiction?
Come on.
Bill knows.
I know.
They have the meats.
Can I give him a little bit of a hint?
Yeah.
Please.
There is an actor that works in that movie and with Arby's.
Samuel L. Jackson, or no? Yeah, Samuel L. Jackson's in that movie, right?
He is.
Yes, he is, but that's not the one.
That's the only person I know. John
I
Travolta.
don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
Ving Rhames was Marcellus Wallace. He was married to Uma Thurman in that movie. Mia Wallace, yeah. And he is the voiceover guy for Arby's. He has the meats. I mean, they have the meats. He tells you that they have the meats. Ving Rhames, the great. He has awful things done to him in Pulp Fiction, famously on the receiving end of a sodomy scene with rednecks. Well, you saw it.
This was years ago. Like a
Give it a rewatch.
Okay.
And he's in all those Mission Impossible movies with Tom Cruise.
Yep.
He's had a pretty good career.
Great career.
And frankly, I can't believe how long they've had him doing those Arby's tags.
It's been a decade.
Yes. I was like, oh, cool, they got Ving Rhames. They'll run, because they're always changing marketing and things, especially voiceovers. They've kept the tagline and him for a decade. And that is quality money when you're doing that. I got a break here. I'll have Alter Bridge tickets for you. They're on that Pawns and Kings tour. That's the new album. They're bringing Seven Dust and Mammoth WVH, Wolfie Van Halen's band. They're going to play Nautica, I believe. So after the break, I'll have those tickets for you if you want to get to that show.